Chapter 50. Work, Worship and Wisdom. All of us are leading busy but mechanical lives, and we do not take the time and effort to understand the meaning of self-inquiry, its need and importance for the purpose of our evolution. If a farmer finds the yield not up to his expectations, he tries to analyze the various causes such as lack of rain, lack of adequate fertilizers, or low quality of the seeds used, etc. While the analysis cannot increase the yield now, it helps him understand the mistakes and acts as a guide to avoid the same mistakes in future. Similarly, in our lives, when we face problems, disturbances, pain and suffering, or when things are not happening the way we want them to, we seek counsel or advice. We go to temples and other places of worship and take recourse to several other external methods. We do not realize that all these are a creation of our own mind. It is the mind which creates the microcosmic world, the world each individual creates for himself. This microcosmic mind that we have created is limited when contrasted with the macrocosmic world created by the cosmic mind called time. It is time which decides and determines everything. The great thinkers recognized this and understood that all these sufferings, pain, problems, and depressions were a mere play of time, Maya or illusion, karma, or whatever one may wish to attribute it to. If everything is attributed to karma, or if we consider that karma plays a vital role, then we feel that there is no necessity of God, because karma alone will determine and execute all our activities. If, on the other hand, we attribute everything to God, then we should sacrifice our ego, surrender ourselves to Him completely, and with absolute faith consider ourselves as mere instruments in His hands. We should be able to accept both pain and pleasure with equanimity. If we merely proclaim that we have submitted ourselves to God, but turn bitter and hostile towards Him when we experience pain and suffering, we go back to our ego, our sense of individuality, and may even become atheists or non-believers. We should therefore recognize not only happiness as God's work, but should also accept sufferings as part of God's influence in our lives and completely depend on Him. Dependence, however, does not imply non-performance of activities which we are bound to carry out. It means we should recognize the power of God behind all our activities. God has given us several resources. It requires self-effort on our part to transform and utilize these resources in an efficient and effective manner. At the same time, it should also not be forgotten that the power to put in the efforts is given by God. In all the above three, that is, fate or karma, grace of God, and self-effort, free will or willpower does not play any part. If we attach importance to free will and if we misuse it, we will go a step back in the process of our evolution. This aspect of free will is in fact a trick played by God on mankind. God has given us a wonderful world, but by misusing our free will, we have succeeded in creating divisions in this world and have become selfish, materialistic, and egoistic. It seems as though God views all this from a distance and laughs at the chaos we have created. Therefore, in order to free ourselves from this situation, we have to correlate our mind to God. We have to expand and raise ourselves to a position where we merely view the world from a distance as a spectator. This expansion is possible through self-inquiry. Though we may resort to rituals, mantras, or other forms of devotion to attain knowledge or wisdom, devotion alone is not sufficient. It should be complemented by self-inquiry. Devotion may reduce unhappiness to some extent and give inner strength and an assurance of the existence of God. The rituals performed in this connection may ensure a sense of discipline, but ultimately, wisdom is the result of inquiry. Just like physical discipline strengthens the body, mental strength can be developed through devotion and surrender to God, and finally, wisdom through self-inquiry. This self-inquiry has to basically start from the negative viewpoints in our lives, from our failures, weakness, and the tests that we are subjected to. These negative aspects have to be then transformed to positive viewpoints. But many of us have the tendency to convert even the positive aspects into negative aspects. Therefore, the appearances we project and our thoughts are also negative. Confidence can be gained only through positive thinking, and for positive thinking, it is first necessary to analyze and set right the negative thoughts. It is also necessary that in the process of developing positive thinking, we should learn to ignore the concept of luck. Thus, we should build up positive thinking, though it may take us time to develop, because it gives us a chance to evolve from a state of suffering to a state of freedom from all sufferings. It also facilitates the process of Atma Vichara or inquiry into the self.